More beer. Brace yourself for some loud beer drinking noises. I make no apologies. Glorious beer. Beer is the happy juice on which life is made. Anyway, Challenger 2. Challenger 2, while looking very similar to Challenger, I believe there's only 10% of commonality between parts. It's just similar cosmetically. Everything else is different. Apart from the BV, or boiling vessels. Inside every British armoured vehicle is something called a BV, which is so the crew can make a cup of tea, because to all you Americans out there, British people are fueled on two things, and that's tea and pork pies. Well, I am anyway. Challenger 2 come in service, I think, 1998, and is still in service today, although we haven't got as many as we started out with. If I've only got a book that told me when they came into service, eh? But yeah, come into service about 1998, and they are a monster of a machine. If you ever get close to one and hear the engine running, it makes your chest vibrate. They're glorious. They'll have you clutching at your PPs. Well, the autistic ones, the monsters, such as myself, will have you clutching at your PPs. So I've got two Tamiya 2s to show you. I would have three, but I've got two of the Tamiya desertized ones. I'll put it on the screen, a bigger picture, but the desertized ones. I've got in the loft two trumpeter Challenger 2s. One of them has the dozer blade. This is the trumpeter version. I started to build it, even with thinking Juice, gave up. It was awful, absolutely awful, terrible kit, gave up, couldn't be arsed, just got rid of it. Always wanted to build Challenger 2, but the only version that Tamiya do is this desertized version, which I don't particularly like. I'll show you one in a minute. I'll show you why I don't like it. Don't particularly like it. It looks fat. It looks like somebody's farted in a phone box. It just looks fat, wide, and all the extra armour that they put on it, they just ruin it. This is what Challengers should look like. Camouflaged, sleek, wary. These things are designed to kill people. They should look sleek, wary and pointy. One thing I did forget to mention earlier on is that which of these do we think holds the longest tank-on-tank kill ever? No, you're wrong. It's not the Americans. It's Challenger. In the Gulf War, there was a tank-on-tank engagement where a Challenger 1 firing a armour-piercing, fin-stabilising, discarding Sabo round. That's how you know you've got a touch of autism, if you know what that is. Basically a long metal dart. It's called a kinetic energy penetrator. How it does all its damage by flying through the air at Mach fuck, slamming into the opposite tank and blowing the turret off. But it was something daft, like, I mean, it's in here somewhere, but it was like 4 or 5 miles away, or whatever the rest of the world measures in freedoms per meter, freedoms per hour. I don't know, I don't really care. But it's in here somewhere. So this, I don't think. So what it does is it fires a massive metal dart out the barrel that's propelled by a bag of explosives, basically. Makes the dart fly through the air, and then it ruins your day. Some people call it a wham fuck. I've been known to call it a wham fuck because it goes wham and you say fuck. Not sure if you can swear on YouTube, but we'll get to that eventually. But anyway, I don't know why I'm flicking through the Challenger 1, but yeah. Challenger 2, pretty much the same gun. It's a rifled gun so that it has some degree of accuracy. Americans like smoothbore guns because they hit something over there instead of actually targeted. Yeah, that's that anyway. So, like I say, I started building Trumpeter Challenger. It was awful, so I gave up. And I bought I've moved house, so that's broke. Anyway, bought a Tamiya Challenger 2. It is the desertised one. I don't like it. It looks fat and sluggish, and all in all, it just sort of, I don't know, just ruins the lines. But this is a 2003 Iraq War version Challenger 2. It's been through the wars, literally, because I've moved house and it's been thrown around all over the place. It's not a bad kit to build. It's quite nice. Nice, crisp, clean lines. Straight out of the box, it looks quite nice. It's not too bad, all in all. So I built a second one. Second Challenger 2. This is a Tamiya Challenger 2, the desertised one. However, this one, I've built it without any of the desert add-ons. So on the desertised version, the exhausts on the back are different, because you could spot where they were, because the plumes of smoke that came out of the exhaust here would go straight up and you could spot where they were. And you know, on thermal imaging it shows up like a fat kid in a fur coat. So what they do is they put this sort of duct in to get the exhaust to come out the back. So it comes out the back instead of out the top. Desertised versions have obviously the up armouring on the side. This is the armour packs, and then they have this ridiculous skirt thing. I can tilt that sideways without anything falling off the top. Just get rid of that. So they have these skirts. Most of them got ripped off almost instantly. They just catch on stuff and get ripped off. They also have the combat identification panels on the side, which stops Americans from brassing them up. Through a thermal imager, this tank will look quite warm, because let's face it, it's in the warm sun of Iraq. And then this combat identification panel through a thermal imager doesn't look as bright. That's how it works in my mind. Feel free to not correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. And then there's additional armour on the front as well. Non-up armoured version. Now, there are lots of variations, lots of versions that you can build of a non-up armoured Challenger. Most side skirts on the side of a Challenger have these sort of bazooka plates, these wavy ones on the side. I didn't particularly want to build that. I wanted to build the evolution of British armour. So I wanted to start at Chieftain and then work my way up to Chieftain, Challenger, late version Challenger, and then early version Challenger 2, late version Challenger 2, and then eventually Challenger 3. So the late version of Challenger, which I have, is the big wide desert boy. And then I wanted an early version. Now I've got a photo, I'll put it up in the video now if I remember, of a early armoured trials and development unit. I suppose it wasn't called that back then, it was probably called something waste lots of money, make nice tanks division, down in Chertsey, I think it was, where Chobham Arm was developed. But anyway, we've got a picture of a very early Challenger 2, and it has the same skirts fitted to it that Challenger 1 has, which are these sort of flat bazooka plates. This is a conversion kit from Scorpion Miniatures, I think it is. These are actually for Challenger 1. I haven't finished this one yet, it's still work in progress, but these are etched brass side plates for a Challenger 1, which I've used to make Challenger 2. I've took all the up armouring off, I've raided, see if I can get it to focus. I love technology. Anyway, raided the parts bin for some spares, and then if I can get the turret off without annihilating it, there you go, because I've got the fingers of a gammon. So inside I have put a large piece of metal, because why not? Who doesn't? Anyway, the large piece of metal is so that when it sits on its tracks, all of the wheels sit flush to the ground, and it just helps give it a bit of weight, so it looks flush, so the suspension sits correctly, gives it a bit of sturdiness. The markings for it, I have again I haven't finished painting it yet. I've not finished weathering it, which is why it looks ridiculous. The markings that I've robbed for it come out of my spares box. I think they're for a Kosovo Challenger, but I'd always wanted to build a Challenger that got Chinese eyes on it. I'll put a different video up about Chinese eyes on tanks, but it's quite funny really. So I'll make a different video on that because it's quite long-winded. Again, I've not finished it yet, but it makes quite a nice kit really, to be fair. It's got a very angular, flat surface that Chobham armour needs. A lot of the rammel that you see on the side of a Chieftain is actually kept inside. There's all different lockers and stuff on the inside to make life easier. So yeah, not a bad kit really. This one probably took me, I don't know. That'll be the weight falling out of the inside of it. But yeah, it didn't take me all that long really. A weekend, maybe a bit more to make her. Yeah. Ta-da.